Mrs. Buchanan, aside from his being a polygamist, would you trust this Mr. Buchanan with the raising and care of 3 small children?
Oh, he's a very generous man and very
I'm not interested in the way he spends his money or his money. I'm interested in his respect for values and morality.
Oh. Well, Asa has a tendency to live by his own rules, especially today.
Excuse me, is it possible that Mr. Buchanan was the reason you were late today for court?
Yes.
And how did that happen?
Well, actually, he locked me in a room and tried to keep me from coming here.
Did he? And this is the same man that's going to provide a home and a proper atmosphere for Kevin, Joey, and Jessica? And he has shown total disregard for the basic law and standards of this community, Your Honor?
I love those babies, and nobody can say a damn thing against that.
Sir, you will sit down.
Now listen, Your Honor.
Sit down and shut up. As for you, Mrs. Sanders, and you, Mr. Callison, I've had all I can take of this communal mudslinging. I've sat here and listened while Landview's leading citizens have shown themselves to be a contemptible, corrupt, and calculating crew. We have completely lost sight of our purpose here, which is to decide the custody of 3 innocent children. And to that end, I am taking matters in my own hands. Mrs. Buchanan, would you rise, please? Mr. Buchanan, would you rise too, please? Along with your children, you're the only 2 people in this courtroom that really counts. Now, I want you to follow me to my chambers. And if it takes all night, we're going to settle this matter here and now.
All right.
Yes. Oh, yes, I'm sure. Where's Diana?
I don't know, and I really don't care.
Don't tell me you're still blaming her for Keith's death.
Well, sometimes. Other times I blame myself for ever letting him stay here before he went to Brazil.
Oh, Cassie.
So how was court?
I'm furious with your father, but other than that...
Why? What did Dad do?
Because he made a fool of me in that courtroom. He turned killer lawyer on me. He tried to use me to destroy Vicky, and you know, by the time this case is over, I don't think half of Landview's going to be talking to the other half.
Somehow I keep thinking they're going to work this all out.
No, not from what I saw or heard in that courtroom. And what makes it even worse, neither Judith nor Herb seems to know the meaning of the word nuance. Everything is either black or white, yes or no.
So who do you think will win, Vicky or Clint?
Oh, Vicky looks a little in trouble right now. Could we please talk about something else?
Well, I just thought since you're already in a bad mood, maybe we should talk about our favorite topic lately, Diane.
No! No! Do you understand? Cassie, I don't like this new version of you. I want the old one back.
Well, I'm having a very big problem with this new, naive, maternalistic version of you.
So you feel better having testified?
No. I feel absolutely rotten for being put in the middle of the whole thing, and I hope I did not do anything to hurt Clint and the children's chances of living in an ideal place.
Ideal?
No matter what you say, Asa Buchanan happens to love those children. You can say anything else you want to about it.
Wait a minute, he's not exactly the best influence on uninformed minds.
Now, you wait a minute. My bigamy problem is old news. Why bring it up again?
Well, because it's news again. It might hurt your son's chances of gaining custody of the kids.
If that is the truth, it would break my heart. There is no finer daddy in the whole world than my son, Clint.
Can we quote you on that, sir, as an authority on the subject?
Asa? Excuse me, may I talk to you a moment?
Oh, we'd rather not.
Tough. Listen, I want you to know that I felt terrible about having to stand up there and say those things in court about us, but I hope I didn't do anything to hurt you and Clint. I had to answer those questions.
Shoot, don't worry about me, lady. And I don't give a damn what anybody thinks, except that judge. I just have to figure out a way to repair the damage my reputation might have caused.
Oh.
We've managed to bloody up the courtroom, haven't we?
A lot easier dealing with concrete evidence, isn't it? Instead, we have two decent people, and we're scrambling to make a villain out of one of them.
Yeah. At least Judge Guernsey thinks so. He wouldn't have yanked them off into his chambers.
Oh, Herb, I'd be the happiest person in here if they would just come in and fire us, because they changed their minds.
Nope. He'd be running a close second to me.
And every witness so far has been reluctant to say anything about either of you.
Except Maria Roberts.
Well, she felt bad, too. But if the whole town believes this is a tragedy, why can't you two agree on joint custody? Or give yourselves more time before jumping into a divorce?
Because Clint does not trust me, and unfortunately, every single attempt to communicate ends in a fight.
Vicky isn't interested in a compromise, Your Honor. I've tried several.
I beg your pardon.
Now, if you two continue to go down this road, I'm going to have to call your children in and talk to them.
No,
Absolutely
you can't
not.
do that.
I won't allow that.
Agree on one thing.
Well, neither one of us wants to put the kids through an experience like that, Your Honor.
Look, why don't you tell me, one at a time, why you're against my talking to the children? Mr. Buchanan.
Well, there's lots of things, Your Honor. For one, I think they're too young to understand. And for another, to be honest with you, I think it'll go against me if you base your decision on what they have to say.
Why is that?
Well, because kids always have a special relationship with their mother. And as you know, I believe that I am more qualified right now to take care of the kids than Vicky is. That's why we're here.
From the testimony so far, I take it they don't know about this memory loss.
No, it would be too much for them to understand. And if possible, I don't want them to ever find out.
I must say, I'm very grateful to Clint for taking that attitude, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if you were to ask them right now where they wanted to live, Vicky would win hands down. But that's because of the past she has shared with them. But she's not able to share that past with them anymore. And they have no idea. They don't know everything I've gone through to hold those kids together. Well, she...
Oh, she what?
Never mind.
I'm quite sure that Clint is referring to the time of my emotional illness when I was Nicky Smith. From what I've been told, it's true. He protected the children and he did hold the family together. But, Your Honor, I am not emotionally ill right now. I am suffering from a memory loss, which the doctor has told me was caused by trauma.
Well, now, I'd like you to tell me why you're so adamant about my not talking to the children, Mrs. Buchanan.
Hi, Dan. How you doing? Do you know Leslie Nichols? She works at the Lambview Hospital.
Yes, I do. We met some time ago. How are you?
Hi, Mr. O'Neill. I've run into so many ex-patients here today.
Well, I think half the town's turned out for this today.
By the way, how's Allison Perkins doing?
There's really no change. There's not much hope left, really.
I guess you could say that about the hearing, too, couldn't you?
The staff of the Banner must be just devastated.
Well, it's tough. Everyone holds both Clint and Vicky in such high esteem.
And now Vicky isn't even acting as publisher. I'd say everyone is more shocked than anything.
I'm glad you're not angry with me anymore.
I am just angry that you let that character O'Neill push your sanctimonious, law-abiding buttons. But I knew if you got here, I couldn't expect you to lie. You've impressed upon me too many times how you hate it. Unless it's to get at old Asa. Oh, here comes the keeper of your flame.
I'm proud of it, Asa.
The reporters, I got a real red-hot story. You like to hear it? All right. My ex-wife over there, see, I had her tucked away in the mansion so she couldn't testify.
We can quote you on that?
Oh, hell, yes. Now, the new boyfriend over here, Mr. Peter O'Neill, comes barging in and attacks my frail, sick butler in order to rescue her.
Mr. O'Neill, is that what happened?
Well, sort of. You see, Mr. Buchanan is so jealous of the time I spend with his ex-wife that he felt it necessary to kidnap her so he could spend a few minutes alone.
How long have you two been lovers?
Pete, don't you dare answer that.
So you are lovers.
Oh. What are you saying? That I was never maternal with you?
No, if anything, you were too maternal with me, which is probably why I rebelled so much.
Oh, good. I'm glad we got that straight.
Maybe that's the whole problem here. You finally found someone to lavish it on, Mom, who's eating it up.
Oh, great. Now we're back to your having a jealous tantrum.
Oh, it is not a jealous tantrum. It's just ridiculous to put Diane in your will.
So John decided on his own that that was your business.
Mom, he is as skeptical of her as I am.
Oh, please.
Look, if you love both of us so much, why can't you see that maybe our doubts might have a little merit?
Do you know what I see? I see two people who have turned against a third person. Diane has had an absolutely horrible life. Do you understand me? She needs somebody who can give her a break, and I am going to give it to her.
But why put her in your will?
Because it'll give her the psychological security that she needs. She will see that I care about her, that I trust her, and it'll make her feel more confident, more secure.
Mother.
Cassie, does it make you feel any better to know that you're still very handsomely taken care of?
I don't care about that. You know that money doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, then why are you making such an issue of my putting Diane in my will?
All right, listen, I will make a deal with you, okay? I'll lighten up on Diane if you start looking into her background. Checking out places that she's lived. She's not specific about anything. Dates, anything. About where she's lived, these foster homes, what happened in them.
What do you want, a year-by-year accounting so that our favorite private detective can check it out?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
I'm not going to do it. It'll give her the feeling that I don't trust her. She saved you from a mugging. Isn't that enough for you?
It was until Keith's death, and how she's acted since with guilt and panic written all over her.
The only thing she's guilty of is letting Jamie Sanders in the door. I'm telling you, you have no grounds whatsoever for these suspicions.
Be over? I'm not really sure. Probably no later than 5.
Well, can we listen to the radio?
No.
See if there's any news?
Kevin, that's not such a good idea. Come on, let's play.
I don't want to play. I want to see what's going on.
Look, boys, I know how difficult this is for you, but there's nothing I can do except try to keep you busy and get your mind off your parents. Believe me, things are going to work out a lot better than you think.
How do you know?
Because I know your mom and dad. They'll work things out so you can see both of them all you want. You just won't be living with both of them, that's all.
Great.
Can I tell you something? I never knew my mother. We talked about that before, remember?
Yeah.
Come on. I want to talk to you for a minute.
Sit here. You guys, you're going to have both your parents around. All you're going to have to do is change your routine around a little. It won't be so bad. Dad, look who's here.
Well, hello there, fellas. Kevin, Joey. How we doing? Your sister upstairs?
No, she's being taken care of at land fair.
Oh, see.
You just came from court.
Yes, that's right, Kevin.
What have they decided?
Well, Joey, that might take a day or two, son.
If I remember correctly, I think there are cartoons on at 4. Oh, yeah. Why don't you guys run up the stairs and watch them, okay?
Well, was it a rough go?
They can only keep their mind off their mother and father for a few minutes at a time. Did you testify today?
Mm-hmm. Clint was desperate to prove that it was an affair that did not exist, but the judge finally ruled that it was not relevant because they both wanted a divorce. Then the judge took Clint and Vicky to his chambers.
Try to get them to work it out?
Yes, I suppose so. The judge seemed angry. Well, that's when I left.
That bad, huh?
Well, Clint gets very irritated when I'm around. But I'm going to have to go back because, as you know, Vicky depends on my support. However, regardless of what happens in court, we have our lives to think of, and I really don't know what to do about that.
Delilah, how's my nephew doing?
Well, he's busy, but he's upset like everyone else.
Hey, so which one is being the stubbornest?
I'll tell you the truth, Danny, I think it's a draw. Because if Vicky hadn't gone for the likeness of Joe Riley, we wouldn't have a problem at all.
I guess you'll have to forget about those kids moving in, huh?
I guess so. Hold it. Hold those gates.
Wait a minute, Ace. What's going on? You look like you're going to high gear.
Yeah, real high. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Hey.
Excuse me. little lawyer camaraderie.
Oh, they still haven't come back, eh?
Good, because I want to tell you both something. I want you to pass it on to the judge. I'm moving out of my house into a hotel so that this man with the loose scruples won't turn nice little boys into bad kids.
Asa,
Yeah, I know, lady. You're just doing your job. We'll let you take care of that, Floyd, huh?
A very admirable sacrifice.
I would do anything to keep Vicky from marrying Tom Dennison and splitting this family so far apart, it would take a team of Clydesdales to bring it back together again.
I cannot imagine anything worse than making the children choose one of us over the other. Your Honor, surely you must be aware of the enormous feelings of guilt that would provoke, and pain. Pain at having to reject one of us.
If you believed, as your husband does, that they would choose you, would you feel the same way?
Yes, of course I would. I would feel as if I had participated in some sort of an immoral act. Please, I beg of you. We both beg of you. Don't make those two little boys go through such a decision.
I have no intention of doing so.
Then why all this?
I said I would like to talk to them. I did not say that I would ask them to choose one of you. I, too, believe that, especially at their age, would be unconscionable.
Well, thank heavens for that. And thank you.
Nevertheless, this talk will influence my decision later on.
What are you saying? It was a trick question?
No, not at all. No, I just wanted to get your reactions.
Well, I'm wondering if I gave a wrong answer or something.
No, don't worry about it, Mr. Buchanan. I'm going out to talk to your attorneys. No, I want you to stay in here for at least 15 minutes. And once again, I want you to make an honest-to-goodness effort to communicate. I'm still not convinced that your relationship is scarred beyond repair. And what keeps coming up is how scarred those children might be from your actions here in this court.
We do?
Yeah, it has to do with the money to pay for things like, clothing, food, trivial things like that, you know?
We're out of money?
Well, not completely, not for now, but I'm going to have to think of some way to generate an income.
Well, I could quit school and get a job.
Oh, no. No, darling, that sort of job doesn't lead to anything. You have to have an education nowadays to get anywhere.
Well, I'll certainly get a summer job, Dad. And I've got plenty of clothes and all that. I never much cared about material things anyway.
And for that, I thank the Lord.
Although there is one thing that I have to have. A sports car.
But I told you lately you're the sweetest little darling daughter a daddy ever had.
Well, I hope we've just about worn out that subject.
Well, now that John and I have cornered you, you're not going to give an inch about Diane.
That's a very attractive assessment of my personality.
Mom, you're like that and you know it.
And so are you, and so is John. Both of you are open to criticism in that department. And while we're at it, what about you, dear? Okay, let's turn it. You drop out of school, you go off to Europe on an extended vacation, and then what?
You're just going on the offensive to divert my attention from Diane.
No, it's just I was getting along just fine while you were away. But now that you're back, suddenly I'm in dire danger. Danger of what? I don't know.
Neither do I. It's just ridiculous to trust someone whose past you know nothing about. Mom, you met her in prison. You assumed she was an innocent victim. You don't...
That's enough! Either you're leaving or I am.
Great! Kick me out of the apartment for Diane.
That's ridiculous. Baby, this whole thing is ridiculous. Come on. If you had any idea how much I missed you while you were away, and now that you're back, we're... Come on. What am I going to get? The same cold shoulder treatment from John when he comes home?
Hi.
Hello, Diane.
How was court? Awful?
Indeed.
I figured. I was going to run your bath for you, but then I realized you were out of your favorite bath salts,
So I went out and got some more.
Oh, that was nice of you. Thanks. I'm going to run my own bath. I'm going to leave the two of you here to get to know each other better.
That's okay.
Just a minute. I'm starting to understand how a mother feels when she has two daughters and there's sibling rivalry.
There is no rivalry. Cassie is your daughter, and I'm not. No contest.
I will not stand for open hostility between you. I won't even stand for hidden hostility. I want you two to work it out.
Hello. Hello.
Who the hell are you?
Name's Jimmy Swift. I'm with the National Intruder.
And Emma let you in?
Well, only because I told her that I knew your daughter.
I don't know you, and I've never seen you before, and I'm not expecting you.
Oh, gee, my mistake. Well, listen, while I'm here, is it true that you just visited your father, the infamous spy?
What? Oh, listen, buddy, you have no right to barge in here. Why don't you just barge right back out?
Lady?
You watch it. This is called trespassing.
I just wanted to ask Cassie a few questions about her father.
Why can't you just leave him alone? He happens to be a decent man who's leading a nice, quiet life, working on his music, and nobody needs to be reminded about his past. Now, you've got exactly 2 seconds to get the hell out of here before I go grab this poker and bop you on the side of the head with it.
You want to be charged with assault?
You want to visit the emergency room?
Okay, I'm going. You know, Mrs. Lord, you ought to post a sign outside about your vicious guard dog.
Bravo! Believe that guy. That was great. Oh, I just lost my temper. I mean, where does he get off barging in here? And you know, I know about reporters from when I was arrested, and they never want to hear the truth. Just sensationalism.
Okay, what do you think? Shall I appoint her my full-time bodyguard?
Thank you so much for the blouse. You know, you really shouldn't have it. It's too expensive.
Well, I'm crazy about you, darling. Besides, it's too late. You can't take it back now.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I will wear it tonight when we... Oh, dear, what are we going to do tonight?
Well, I thought a little dinner to calm our jangled nerves, and then we'll play Your House and Mine.
Sounds perfect. Let's go upstairs and I'll change my clothes.
All right. What the hell is he doing here?
I don't give a damn what it costs, Mr. Clark. I'll even reimburse all the people on the 5th floor for the inconvenience of moving.
But to do all of this so suddenly...
I needed it suddenly. I needed to move out of my house in the hotel. Now, I need the entire 5th floor. All except Pamela Buchanan's suite. She can stay.
But the penthouse is empty at the moment. Such a lovely view.
I'm not interested in a view. Now, I have some men waiting to work. Now, can we move along, Prado?
Okay, Mr. Buchanan, whatever you say.
Well, look who's here.
Hey, sir. Now, what exactly are you up to? Why is the manager so upset?
I don't have any time to talk now. I'm a little busy.
Why do I have this bad feeling?
Do you have any witnesses left besides our two primaries?
Yes, the butler and the Buchanan nurse and a relative I'd like to call.
Are the butler and nurse here?
They're waiting outside.
Would you bring them in, please? I'm just going to ask them a few questions informally. Get it out of the way. That'll save time while the Buchanans are hopefully trying to work things out in my chambers. Counselor?
That's fine with me.
All right.
I'm detecting some impatience, though.
You're detecting a lot of it. Yeah, those two should have agreed on joint custody. And I'm very disappointed that you and Mrs. Sanders couldn't maneuver them to that point.
Well, I am too, but we can only advise.
Yes, well, that doesn't lessen my disappointment. Ah, hello there. I'm Judge Guernsey. And you are?
Kim Sue Murayami. I'm the Buchanan children's nurse.
And I'm Basil Heron, the family butler.
Yes. Well, it's nice to meet you both. Please, approach the bench. And relax. Now, we're just going to have a little talk here about what goes on in the household where you're employed.
It'll be a lot easier than testifying on the witness stand.
Yes, and you needn't worry about speaking out of turn. I know that neither the Buchanans hold anything to say against you.
It's just very difficult, my lord, Your Honor. We are both happily employed at Landfair.
And you're very fond of the children, I assume?
Of course.
I love them dearly.
Then help me here, deciding what's best for them. First of all, do you consider Mr. Buchanan to be a good father?
Oh, without question.
The best ever.
Yes. Well, I understand he has a temper. Now, have you seen any display of this around the children that you might call out of place?
No, never, sir. He's always very gentle with the children, even if he's angry for some reason. And they hardly ever cause problems, huh?
I admire his way of dealing with the children. He's very sensitive to their feelings.
All right. As for Mrs. Buchanan, I assume you know about her state of mind.
Yes, we've been told.
Yes. Well, now, have there been any incidents where her memory loss has been evident? You know, harmful?
Evident, perhaps, not harmful.
Well, such as?
Well, just little things, like forgetting that Kevin takes violin lessons now.
Or serving Brussels sprouts at dinner, which the boys hate.
Well, they've only laughed at those things. They haven't been hurt by them.
Yes, well, is there anything caused by either parents that have hurt the children? Now, you must answer truthfully.
Well, that's easy to do, sir. They are fine people, they are excellent parents, and they have never, ever done anything to hurt the children.
They loved each other very much. We all feel very sad that their relationship has come to this.
All right. That will be all. Oh, if the councillors agree.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you for coming and for confiding in us. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Sanders. What about this relative? A powder keg of information, I suppose.
A character witness who's known Vicky for a long time, Delilah Buchanan.
All right, let me talk to her now. That'll give the Buchanans more time together.
I'm gonna fix a snack for the kids. Do you want something?
No, thanks, son. Maybe that's Vicky. Perhaps they've recessed the hearing for the day.
Hello, Miss Dennison.
Oh, Richard. Yeah, come in. Come in.
Thanks. Hi, Marilyn.
Hi. You here to see Kevin?
Yeah, I came up to check up on him. But he's not the only reason I stopped by.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell the boys you're here.
Thanks a lot, Miss Dennison. Yeah. So how are they doing? I've been reading all about it in the papers.
Well, they're nervous and afraid.
Yeah, I figured they would be. Do you know, I went through the same thing when I was 13. I mean, it's tough. It really is tough.
Rick!
Hey! Come here. All right. How you doing, buddy?
Good. So glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you, too. And who's, this little guy behind you?
He's Joey, my brother. Joey, this is Rick. He's the guy who saved my life.
Hey, why don't you give me 5? All right. So I was wondering, if any of you guys would like to go out cross-country skiing on the property before it can start.
Right now?
Yeah, why not? I know you own skis. So why don't you go home and get your stuff, and we'll meet you out back, all right?
Great, Joey. Come on, let's go. Don't forget your jacket. Yep. See you guys.
Sit down.
Great idea.
You'll be joining us, I hope.
Rick, I'm from El Paso, remember? We don't have snow back there.
I figured as much. But just so happened, I happen to have a pair of extra skis in the car. And cross-country skiing is just slightly harder than walking.
Well, willing to give it a try.
All right.
The entire floor? Except for Mrs. Buchanan's suite.
The fog is beginning to lift.
Okay, man, right this way. Excuse me. Boys, this is the general manager, Mr. Clark. He'll take you right up and get right to work.
Come with me.
Get to work doing what, Asa?
Well, I'm trying to be as comfortable as I can while I'm living here. See, I moved out of my house so that Clint wouldn't be hassled by my bad reputation. Now, wasn't it nice of me, Petey?
Uh-huh. Asa, did you need the entire floor, the 5th floor, the only floor in the Vernon Inn that Pam lives on?
Pete, it was the only floor available.
It's just another one of your ridiculous tricks.
Oh, come on, please, please. No more arguments. Pete, I'm going to go upstairs and change, and will you please just make a reservation someplace wonderful for dinner, huh?
Yeah. All right, darling, I'll be right up. Well, the good thing about all of this is you keep having to waste small fortunes, and you get no results.
But isn't it nice that I have small fortunes to waste, huh, Petey?
happened between you and Clint?
The same old story.
Just another impasse we couldn't blast through, Herb.
May I have order in this courtroom, please? Now, do either parties wish to come forward with a new solution? Mr. Carlson.
I'm afraid not, Your Honor.
The issue is unresolved, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sanders, you may call your next witness, please.
The plaintiff calls Clint Buchanan to the stand.
Clint Buchanan.
Look, I can object, but he'll overrule.
She can ask me all the questions she wants to, Herb.
Put your hand on the Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated.
Mr. Buchanan, the family doctor, Larry Wolick, has been questioned extensively about the day that Vicky was unaware of Joey's asthma attack due to a memory loss. Can you tell us of any other moment when she didn't respond to a crisis?
No, I cannot.
And during that one moment with Joey, given all your years with Vicky, what would she have done if you hadn't been there?
This is speculation, Your Honor.
Your Honor, counsel for Mr. Buchanan has used Joey's asthma attack as the only claim to Mrs. Buchanan failing her children. I think we have every right to hear his educated guess as to what her next step would have been.
Overruled.
What would she have done if you hadn't been there?
I suppose she'd have called 911 and waited for an ambulance.
In other words, she wouldn't have let the child stop breathing and die, correct?
Correct.
And isn't it true that after this frightening episode, Mrs. Buchanan started poring over medical reports, school records, family albums, anything to familiarize herself with her children's background,
That's true.
to fill the void that was produced by the memory gap?
Yes.
And yet you claim that she is incapable of taking care of the children herself.
I'm claiming I'm better for the job. There's a big difference.
But you have no evidence to prove this, do you? I mean, except for the asthma attack, which you admit you would have ultimately handled.
No, I don't.
So, in your opinion, Mrs. Buchanan, even with the memory loss, possesses all the qualities of a very loving and caring mother.
Yes, she does.
Thank you. Your witness, counsel.
Before Diane comes back in the room, I'm going to make this announcement and we can get the fireworks over with.
Don't tell me you're doubling the amount you're leaving her in your will.
No, but I'm doubling her salary.
Oh, she deserves a raise. I mean, she's your secretary, your personal assistant, your maid.
Cassie, you heard the way she stuck up for you, in spite of your attitude towards her.
Okay, I'm glad and I was appreciative. I just really want her to come clean with her past.
Honey, some things are just too hard to relive.
Yeah, including an address.
Cassie!
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll lighten up on her, and I'll be more open towards her, okay?
Oh, sweetheart. That's all I was asking.
Hey, Tiger, you get what you want?
Let's just say it helped.
You got my 100?
Oh, yeah, right here. Just about wipes me out, but what the heck?
Listen, I'll tell you what, we could reverse this process. Yeah, I mean, you give me an exclusive on any late-breaking stories on Dorian Lord, and I could slip you some money.
Jimmy, you got yourself a deal.
Pardon me.
Yeah?
If you're heading for the first elevator bank, I'm afraid it's off limits. It only goes to the 5th floor now.
Oh, that's good, because that's where I'm heading, 5th floor.
Got a pass?
I'm not going to need a pass.
Security reasons.
Oh, you're guarding Asa Buchanan, right? Well, listen, my date happens to live on the 5th floor, too, and you're not stopping me.
Hold it!
Mr. Buchanan, do you love your wife?
Yes, I sure do.
You having a difficult time suing for custody of the 3 children?
It's probably the roughest thing I've ever done in my life.
You've stated that you find Vicki Buchanan to be a good and loving mother.
That's right.
So what's behind you doing this? What is your motive in trying to win custody?
My motive? Well, I know this is going to sound upside down, but I'm hoping that in the long run, my having the kids will help keep this family together.
Would you expound on this, please?
Well, I can't just sit back while she falls for another man because she doesn't remember me.
Objection.
Well, it's the truth. Ask her.
Mr. Buchanan.
Your Honor, my client perceives the situation as he has stated, and it is, after all, his and Mrs. Buchanan's perceptions that we're really dealing with here.
Yes, well, I suppose you're quite right. You may continue.
Well, it's my idea that I'll hang on to the kids, and Vicki will eventually, hopefully, get her memory back. And when she does, I know that she's going to remember our relationship. And all the wonderful times that are just blank spots to her right now. And I know that she'll remember the love she once had for me when her memory does come back. I know she's going to be devastated when she learns of her actions during this amnesia period. And I want to be there with the kids, ready and willing to welcome her back so we can pick up the pieces and just go on from where we left off.
Tell me, what are your fears should your wife gain custody of the children?
Well, I already mentioned one of them. There's a couple of it. One I mentioned was that another fellow will take over as daddy before her memory comes back. And it's just going to be too confusing and too painful for the kids. But beyond that, I just don't think it's fair that those three little kids should spend the bulk of their time with a mother that doesn't know them. I mean, she truly does not know them. You know, school reports and medical records and family photographs do not tell of all the little moments that a life is made of.
Such as?
Well, such as the day Kevin hit his first Little League home run. I mean, it was the happiest day of the kid's life. Such as the day Joey, for the very first time, rode his pony all by himself. It was the happiest day of his life. And the birthday parties, the Halloween, and making costumes for them, all the little milestones. She doesn't even remember giving birth to two of them. Or what we went through when Jessica was taken from us. The pain we went through during that kidnapping. And the joy we shared when we realized that we had created that little human being. And it was me that held those kids together, that held that family together, not some other man, me. And now, once again, Vicki has left reality. And once again, I intend to hold that family together until their mother and my wife comes back.
I have no more questions.
Redress, Mrs. Sanders?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Buchanan. You may step down.
I don't think I can take much more of this. This is it, Vicki.
He's made me feel so guilty. How am I going to do this?
You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. I call Victoria Lord Buchanan to the stand.
Victoria Lord Buchanan.
Charles, you're not brooding, are you?
No, Mother. I was just thinking.
About something other than your wife and son, I hope?
Well, it's hard to think about anything else. I'll get that. I sent Payson on an errand. Oh, hello, John. Hello, Charles. Come on in. Guess who's here, Mother? Well, Liz, this is an unexpected treat.
As always, Jonathan. What brings you here?
Something about Judith? No, Judith is in court with the Buchanan custody trial. This is about Jamie. Oh, no, not something more. Don't worry, Charles. It's not any new sin. It's an old matter. Detective Garrettson told me that Diane Bristol gave Jamie a spring back, and you saw this.
That's right.
Is it still here, or did you take it with him?
I haven't the slightest idea.
John, what's all this about this ring? I'll explain later, Charles. Right now, I want to check out Jamie's room.
Absolutely not.
Sir, I suggest you don't start any trouble. I'm not causing the trouble. Now, my date lives up on the 5th floor, and you have no right to stop me.
You can use the house phone. She'll meet you down here.
Does the manager know that Asa Buchanan is taking over these elevators as well as the whole 5th floor?
Yes, sir. It's all part of the arrangements.
This guy giving you a problem, kinda?
You're the only one that's causing a problem. What do you think you have, Pam, under house arrest?
Of course not. Pam can come and go as she pleases. You, however, cannot.
Let's you and I step outside, Asa, and settle this once and for all.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the true self you got?
I do.
You may be seated.
Boy, am I glad I'm not a judge having to make this decision.
Before we get started, Mrs. Sanders, I'd just like a word with the witness.
Of course, Your Honor.
Mrs. Buchanan,
Yes, sir.
I realize the emotional stakes in this hearing are very high. But please, try to remain calm and state your case as straightforward as possible.
If you are referring to my earlier emotional outburst, I apologize for that, Your Honor. And I can assure you that I am in control of myself.
Fine.
Mrs. Buchanan, why don't we go back to that earlier outburst? Did you have a conversation with Maria Roberts saying that you preferred your freedom from Clint over custody of your own children?
No. No. I unequivocally did not have that conversation. My children are more precious to me than my life. I would die for my children. That's why I'm here, to do everything in my power to keep them with me.
Perhaps you can explain why the ring is so important.
There's a possibility that the ring was stolen at the same time as Cassie Callison's brooch. I have already replaced the brooch. I don't want to start working on the ring. What did Jamie do? Steal a piece every other day? Come on, Charlie, lighten up, will you? You know what Jamie's capable of. He's already proven that.
You're his uncle. Surely you're not gloating over his misfortunes.
No, I'm not. And I would hardly call them misfortunes. Look, Jamie may not have even stolen the ring. That little Diane has been making up a lot of flaky stories lately, and frankly, I'm worried about her presence in Dorian's apartment and in her life.
Well, then I'll go up and see if I can find the ring, since I know what it looks like.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So, John, have you seen Judith? How's she doing? She's living in my loft, Charles. As you know, she's busy with the trial and trying to get her life together. I keep expecting her to walk right back through that door. I guess that's not going to happen this time, is it? I guess not. Of course, your mother must be greatly relieved. Well, someone who isn't is Kate. She went up to the mountains. Said she needed some time to think. My guess is that she's going to move out of Lambview for good. Well, there's a certain guy that may keep her in town longer than you think. Don't wave goodbye yet, Charlie. It's funny, John. I used to envy you. Not getting married, not having a family. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. If you never start a family, you'll never lose one. Charlie, you're not feeling sorry for yourself, are you? No, of course not. Well, maybe I am a little bit. Have you had any new info on Jamie? No leads whatsoever. Nothing, huh? I tell you, I wouldn't count on seeing Jamie again or even hearing from him. Yeah, well, suits me fine.
Wow, can we do that again tomorrow, Rick?
We sure can, as long as the snow doesn't melt.
Come on. I can't believe it. Marilyn Dennison from El Paso, Texas, out cross-country skiing.
Wait till I get you up on a mountain and teach you the real thing. But you're gonna have to be careful. You just might get addicted to it.
Kevin, you think you... Kev, what are you doing? Nothing. May I see?
Okay. I found this in the trash.
Come on, you guys. I want to talk to you guys. Come on. Come over here and sit down. You sit there, and you sit there. Come here, get a little closer. You see, unlike your mom and dad, my parents fought for as long as I can remember. You know, I remember up in my room at night hearing them argue and fight, and they always thought they were hiding it from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you ran away, I knew why you ran away. I felt for you. But running away isn't the answer. Well, anyway, my parents split up when I was 13, and they fought over me, too.
Who won?
My mom. But you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. For one thing, they stopped arguing. And you know, when I was with my mom, everything was quiet and peaceful, and it was nice. And I was with my dad, it was the same way. So what you guys are going through is tough. I know it's tough. But you're gonna live through it.
Why doesn't anyone ask us what we want?
Well, Kevin, because that's for grown-ups to decide.
That's not fair.
You're right, it's not. No one asked me what I felt either. And I've been angry about it ever since.
Let's go back in time to the night that you asked Tom Dennison to come to the family cabin. Why did you ask him to meet you there?
I wish I knew. Unfortunately, I don't remember that. You see, that was the night, shortly after I arrived at the cabin, actually, when I suffered the memory.